Morning, everybody. It is Social Surge with Fly and Mo, just waiting to go live on Instagram. It's always quite a delay.
And for those of us who may be looking for us on X, which if you're looking for us on X, you won't hear this message because StreamYard's experiencing some kind of X interruption. And you want to know what? I relate, because the number of API keys that have to get put together to make this happen is,
It says we're live.
Oh, then what am I talking about?
Hey, we went live today. Hey, congrats to us. It's working. Holly Pennington has joined us over on the gram. Why is this not ending? There we go. I think I double clicked it. All right, everybody. It is Surge with Fly and Mo. I'm Regalado, and over there is Miss Fly Dixon.
I'm just on my phone.
I know, we're trying to figure that out.
Well, first I was accepting my invitation to collab with the ICSC post on Instagram, which I forgot to do last night. Sorry, Adrian. And I can just say good morning to all the gram fam.
Oh, the music went off, but oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's the Christmas miracle. Good morning, Hefe Thompson, joining us over on LinkedIn. We did show up on X, which is like last week, I think we were missing, but StreamYard, who's the service that we use to broadcast live to all of these different platforms, they were just like, yeah, good luck getting on X this week. And they're blaming it on X, saying that it's X's issue, that they're having issues live streaming. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fabulous.
Well, I mean, you want to know what? I wouldn't be surprised, and because again, that people are making changes to their algorithms all the time, and X just opened their API for everybody in a different way than it was, and so good morning, DB.
What up, DB? How is the snow in Nueva York?
Oh, I've seen some great photos come out. Gabe Marins posted a photo of him, shoveling, and he's all, and the snow's up to here. And, wow, there were 300 likes or something. Great. You know what I mean? I'm just post, that's reality. He had to go shovel his sidewalk. Everyone's dealing with that. You know what I mean? And then it's just the sometimes the difference. Hey, Mo, you sound like Mo. Sometimes the difference is, between someone who, has content that's working and content that's not, is just the fact that the impulse to post it and they do it. But
yeah, absolutely. And I think we've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again as we go through 2026. People want to relate to real, and with as much as AI is going out there.
I'll have to listen back to hear how I sounded like Mo. I have sometimes I do need to apologize for swearing on the phone with people, because I'm oh, sorry, I've been talking to Mo. Sorry, I totally throw you under the bus as if it weren't my own fault that I'm swearing.
I'm good with that. I'm actually very, very good with that.
You're a net positive influence on me, so I'll just you gotta look at the full picture. All right, what's going on?
All right. Thanks to Regalado Real Estate for joining us over on the gram. So today we're actually talking about, so this was something that was sent to me, and I say allegedly, because we never know what's going to happen with the algorithms until it happens. And then half the time they decide to switch, and it gets to be to the point where you're literally have to look at what your whole purpose of being on social media is. And if you're chasing likes, if you are chasing clout, if you are chasing followers, then you're missing the point of being on social media. It's not how many followers you can get. It's not how many likes you can get. It's how many people in your network are going to see your post that are going to transact with you. Okay? This is the point of social media marketing, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to create brand awareness, bring them through the funnel. If you don't know what a funnel is, I'm not talking about funnel cakes, though I would absolutely adore having a funnel cake.
We should do an episode all about it.
With some powdered sugar on it. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, right? That would be just delicious.
Really
But if you don't have people coming through your funnel, then and you don't know what that is, and you don't know what that customer journey looks like or client journey looks like, and you're like, oh, I don't care about the funnel, Mo. Yes, you do. You actually do care about the funnel. You just don't know what I'm talking about. Sadly, today we're not talking about the funnel. We're actually talking about how LinkedIn is allegedly changing their algorithm, and that it is going to be an AI powered model. And we're talking about what you need to do to adjust your profile and adjust your content so that your content is seen. Now, something that you're going to hear me talk about repeatedly throughout 2026 is indexability. Indexability. What does that mean? Well, when the answer engines go through content, they index it, right? They actually rank it. Now, how is your content going to get found? Well, one of the things that you need to do is you need to start doing LinkedIn articles. Wah, 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 wah. Mo, you've been talking about this. Yes. Why do I keep talking about LinkedIn articles? I should be doing LinkedIn articles, but I'm doing them for my clients. But the point is that LinkedIn articles, just like blog posts, are also indexable. And right. So if you look at the structure of a LinkedIn article, it's an H1, H2. That's the headline 1, headline 2, right? And the point of it being that because it's categorized that way, it is very easy for the search engines and the answer engines to do what? That's right, index it. They can actually categorize everything that you're putting. Ben Nolte has joined us over on the gram. Good morning, Ben. Thanks for joining us. AI power model, aka people losing jobs.
That's a comment from Dwayne there. Let me pull it up. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with that, but at the same time, too, there's people that have to adjust the AI. There are engineers behind there that are adjusting and taking a look at it. And I think if we've seen anything with AI over the last couple of weeks, when we had Moltbot and we had all this stuff happening, is that there are still humans behind the machines manipulating things.
Oh no, it's truly, I mean, I don't want to turn this into an episode about AI, but I think that it, as with any shift in the way that things are produced, whether it's a material good or it's an information good, there like more the there I think it'll just be different work. I don't think it's going to be less work, but yeah, in the interim, while people are figuring it out, those kinds of changes are going to happen. But anyway.
So the AI model is supposed to, the language model, right, that LinkedIn is coming up with, is it's going to read your content, it's going to judge your profile, and then it's going to decide whether or not your content and your profile is good enough for distribution. One of the ways that I would say that you can, and I don't want to use the word hack because it's not a hack, one of the ways that you can stay in other people's feeds is by commenting on their posts.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not new. This is not something that we're just coming up with. We have talked about this for so long. OPP, it's not what you're thinking. It's other people's posts. Yeah, now I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. But you need to actually be actively engaging on the platforms. The more that you're active on a platform, the more that the platform is going to share your content to a wider audience. That's just how that works. That has nothing to do with the algorithm. That is you and your behavior and the platform going, oh, this person is on here and they're actively engaging. We are going to reward them by showing their content to more people. So old LinkedIn is engagement velocity, comment pods. So that's one of the big issues. Comment pods and surface level metrics. LinkedIn is judgy. Oh, that's funny. So let me talk about this. This might be actually one of the reasons why LinkedIn is moving away from some of this is because there are such things as comment pods and there's engagement pods. So it's a group of people who end up increasingly comment on other people's posts, They're not people that you would actually transact with. It makes your content look good, and it makes you look like you have all this engagement happening. But when you go and you look at the metrics and the impressions, the impressions are very, very poor. And it's because it's the same core group of people that keep commenting on each other's posts. And again, let's not forget why we're here on social media. We're here to create brand awareness, to get in front of that person that you are most likely to transact with. I actually wrote a post on Thursday or Friday.
I can't remember what day it was. Yeah.
Little scathing, a little. And it had to do with the fact that
not nearly enough.
It had to do with the fact that there is an issue when people that you start getting active on social media, that they will start commenting about your content or how you are representing yourself online. And if it's not a version of you that they're comfortable with, they're going to try to suck you back into what they're comfortable with. And so I had to ask a client, and I was very bold. That's my word of the year. I was very bold about it. And I said, are these people that you are going to transact with? And they told me no. And I said, then you're worrying about the wrong things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Like if they're not paying your bills, and this is a way for you to get in front of somebody that is going to transact with you, who would you rather be in front of?
I mean, I'm not going to name names, but I'm shocked at the level of immaturity that, I mean, like, people say that like the CRE is not an emotional business. And I'm like, you want to know what? There's no emotions in the spreadsheets. And that's what everybody looks at. And there's so much emotion around everything else, right? And yeah, so it's like, look, I understand why it makes you feel uncomfortable and nervous if you post something and, you know, your friend or, you know, your coworker. I mean, like, look, Carson Baird down at LQ in Florida, you know, he's like the LinkedIn guy in the office that everybody makes fun of, right? Or at least I hope they're not making fun of him anymore, because that cat is transacting off of the fact that he's on here. Okay. And like, you know, he's another interesting example, because Carson, and, you know, there's a couple other guys like him, you know, like they lean into their personality.
Oh,
and
hell
so,
yeah.
I mean, you know, Carson's current LinkedIn headline is the quote from the CoStar article that covered his panel at the CREI Summit. And it says something like, known for his mustache on LinkedIn - CoStar. It's a quote from CoStar. And that's you know, and so he's just like, you know, when you can, you know, I'm not saying that you should run a digital presence that is entirely satirical. I think we've seen that the industry cannot always handle satire for reasons I will not get into now. But if you can lean into part of that, I'm not necessarily recommending that you have that level of irreverence in your work. But look, people like people who are easy to get along with, who have fun personalities, you know, for the most part, and can make some fun of themselves a little bit. It's not going to work in every market. It's not going to work in every relationship. It's certainly not going to work in every transaction. And I've actually forgotten why I went off on this rant. So I'm going to yield the floor back to you.
We're talking about, actually, it was about the post that I did about
who do you want to transact with? And so, you know, all the people who are making fun of Carson Baird for being the mustache guy on LinkedIn, that cat's closing deals. So who's laughing now?
And that was the point of my post. Are you trying to get in front of people who you are most likely to transact with, or are you trying to get in front of people who are most likely to like you? And as Ben says on the gram, would you rather be Rick or rather be famous? Rich, sorry, not Rick. Would you rather be rich? Would you rather be famous? I'll take the money, right? I think we forget the purpose of, especially when we're in business, of why we're supposed to be sharing on social. Yes, it is to be social, but when you have a group, or when you have two loud voices in this particular case, that they are uncomfortable with how you are on social media, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do it has everything to do with them and the pigeonhole that they have you in. That's kind of a side note as to what we're talking about today. And what LinkedIn is allegedly doing. Again, this is alleged because of the fact that we don't know if this is going to happen. This is just people in the industry talking about it.
Yeah.
So the new LinkedIn is going to do semantic topic matching, depth of expertise, profile alignment, save and dwell time. Save and dwell time is something I do definitely want to talk about. And then topical consistency. So LinkedIn is no longer about like, you know, the feel good stuff. And yes, it is, some of it's feel good, but how consistent are you in the topics that you talk about? How often does your content get saved, and how long? Wow, that's a hell of a, what? Okay.
That's going to fill the screen. Hold on. Let's finish what you were talking about.
Yeah. So there is one of the new metrics that LinkedIn over the last probably 4 months, and I don't know how many people have noticed it, but it is saves and sends to DM. Those are two new metrics that are being closely followed right now. And you do want your saves, you do want people saving your content, and you do want sends and DMs to start increasing with your post. Why? What this is doing, it is triggering the algorithm to let the algorithm know that your content is making an impact and people are saving it to visit it later, which, I mean, be real. Like, how many of us actually visit the saves that we do? I have folders upon folders of saves.
I have a solution for that, but go on.
She's got a solution. But they're also looking at the sends and DMs. You won't be able to see who actually sent your post in a DM to, you won't be able to see that person who did that. You will be able to see how many people have done that. Why is this important? Because what it's saying is that this was an important piece of content that somebody sent to somebody else to have a conversation. It started a conversation.
Here's the point.
Right. Exactly. 100%. It is the point. Okay. So let's go to Dwayne and talk about this. In New York, it's tough on social media because I like that you can only just see like my hair right there.
Or like here, I have to like duck. But it's fine. If I'm in the horizontal, I can go above it. But in the vertical, nobody else can see what I'm doing on my screen. That's pretty great. Okay.
In New York, it's tough on social media because they don't interact among companies. I promise you it's an unwritten rule. So I think people have to branch away from them to attract others. Then others will begin to recognize when noise is made without their input. It's like everything. Talk to people that everybody ignores, and then people will begin to notice the person that was being, the person that was being ignored. Yes. Agree 100%. Anthony in New York City has joined us over on the gram, and Ben says instead of likes and subscribers on YouTube, it will be saved in DM on LinkedIn. Yes, absolutely 100%, Ben. So what are we to do? How are you guys going to get through this latest alleged shakeup? Again, I'm putting alleged there because we never know what's going to happen. Again, this is just from industry experts talking about it, so that's why we're bringing it up here on today's Social Surge.
And I want to also say that I appreciate your heavy, emphatic use of allegedly, because ultimately nothing is going to change. And what I mean by that is that if you have been listening to Social Surge, if you are in this group, or you're in the school, like you're talking with Mo and I, like the fundamental things that we discuss here are all still relevant, right? Because even though the technological landscape is always changing and the infrastructure is changing. I mean, look, it's just like people are still going to drive cars, even if we switch from gas to electric. All right. And gas came after, coal or whatever. I'm not an automobile history expert, but you know what I mean? I'm just like the way that things go is going to change, right? The vehicle's going to change, the system's going to change, but fundamentally nothing is going to change. It's just going to change how it gets distributed, like you said.
Yes. And if it's changing, then you need to make some changes to your profile if you haven't already done so after we've talked about this. Because honestly, none of this is new based on what Fly and I have been talking about over the last probably.
You're early. Yeah. If you're here, y'all, you're early. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, last like 6 to 8 months. So LinkedIn's AI is reading your profile. So your headline needs to be very clear as to who you serve and what's the problem that you solve. If you go to mine, if you go to Fly's profile, I think Fly says starting conversations with Siri brokers.
It used to for the longest time. And then I changed it to I help Siri brokers with social media, period.
Right.
And that shift, is good. Is good.
It's very simple. We do social media for busy commercial real estate professionals. Boom. Who's our audience? Commercial real estate professionals. What are they? What's their issue? They're busy. What do they not have time for? Social media.
I'm not that tight, but when you hear, it depends on if it makes the cut. But I was on a podcast recently where I just really nailed I said like 3 different versions of it, but like they were all like tight, like the one you say. Anyway.
Thank you,
Dwayne,
DB.
that's very kind.
We love
but
you.
yeah, I mean, because look, that's the thing, Rose, right? I mean, like there's more, as much as that's like the LinkedIn algorithm, like seeping over into real life. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to stop the tangent before it starts. So your LinkedIn is going to start reading your profiles in a different way that's going to affect the way that you show up in feeds and other search results. So in addition to the headline, what are some of the other things that are good things to get on your profile for humans and for the bots?
For humans and the bots. I love that.
Yeah.
Your about section definitely needs to reinforce 2 to 3 clear topics of who it is you serve and what problem you solve. I think too many times, and maybe it's the old 2016 LinkedIn way of thinking, that it was like your about section was a resume. Your about section needs to change. It absolutely needs to change. You need to start thinking SEO and AEO. You need to think about what the search engines are going to pull up. And this is an exercise for everybody. Do us all a favor. Go to Manus, go to Perplexity, go to Grok, go to Claude, go to ChatGPT and put in who is the best blank, like who is the best, whatever kind of broker you are, right, in your area, of the area that you work in. And then see what the search results pull up, see what happens. And a lot of this is based off of, and I'm going to use a word, the dearth of information that you have put out there. Why do you think Bob Knackle gets found? Bob Knackle gets found because we post
easy to find.
An amazing amount of information. Plus, on the other side, he has SEO working for him, right? Where they're constantly posting all of this content that he has put out over the last 40 years. Now, do I suggest putting up 40 years of content? It's probably you're going to have another team to do that for you. But you should be posting consistently across platforms and ways that people can find you. If you have a website, yeah, I know we're talking about websites in 2026. If you have a website, you should be posting consistently on a blog at least once a month. Once a month is good enough to actually put you back into the search engine rankings because you've refreshed the website with new content and now it can crawl it. If you're not updating your website's not doing you anything. And then you're going to come and complain to me, Mo, I have a website, but it doesn't work. Your website doesn't work because it doesn't provide value and you don't update it. So there's that. Okay. Sold by Greta's joined us over on the gram, and Rukundo Info T has also joined us. We were talking about LinkedIn and the alleged changes that are happening in 2026 and how AI is taking over everything. So yeah, go ahead.
So to carry on with talking about, of course, Bob as a case study, of course, right? Because and that level, sometimes people will come to us to have a conversation and be like, well, how can I be like Bob? And I'm like, I don't know. Are you Bob? Like we can do all the same stuff that we do for Bob, but are you Bob? You know what I mean? So sorry. I mean, I'm just, I'm not trying to be mean, but, so one thing that I think that to highlight, and you've talked about this before, but I want you to, maybe this is a good place to focus on to end for the day. I don't know. the actual spread of the types of content, right? So like curating and putting together like the actual topics that are being talked about. I know that sometimes people come to us and they're like, well, I don't want to sound repetitive, or people have a lot of really big ideas. So like, what's the actual mix of topics that people should be talking about, and what are the kinds of topics that maybe they might want to avoid?
Okay, that's a great question. So 80% of your content should live in 3 buckets. It should be, and this is just if you want the AI to know what you're about. Obviously, it's market trends in your asset class. And how do you do that? You can do that through news jacking and talking about what's happening in the news. Again, real conversations equal real content. If you are having market trend conversations with your clients and your prospects, that's what you need to be putting out on social media. A very, very, very good example of this is Adam Dunn. Take a look at Adam Dunn. He loves the yumbers. He loves yummy numbers, and he talks about numbers all the time. But he is sharing that information in a way that's easily digestible. It's also easily indexable. And so people are finding him based on the content that he's putting out, and it is consistent. You want to talk about your deals, and talk about your deals in a way that is good storytelling, right? We talk about the CART method all the time, which is not an us thing. It is a Massimo thing. It is challenge, action, result, testimonial. If you look at any Bob's Testimonial Tuesdays, that is a CART, but it's in a story. So you get the challenge that they are having with the client, or the client was having, the action that they were able to take, the result was sold a building for $80 million, right? Or we sold the land for $80 million. And then the testimonial, very, very prolific. If you take a look at it, that's exactly what it is. It's just in a story. And we eat those up because we love the story. We love the behind the scenes, and to find out what was happening. Were they having issues? Was it a transaction where we had 3 different family members who were arguing as to whether or not, they were going to put all parcels together? Like, what was going on? And we love that, and we eat it up. And not only that, but it's sticky. Stories are sticky. And so it'll stay in our brain, and then we'll share that story, and we're like, oh, hey, did you see so-and-so had this transaction, or they had something happen? And did you hear about this, right? Sticky sticks. Made to Stick is a great book. Fabulous, fabulous book. If you haven't read it, put it on your to be read list. It talks about sticky ideas. So AI needs to know what you're about. If your content is not consistent, and I'm not just talking about posting consistently, but if you don't have buckets that you don't pull from consistently, if you're one day it's a deal, another day it's a political rant, another day it's a vacation photo, one of them's a meme, and then one's bitching about AI, the algorithm is going to be like, this dude, I don't know what to do with him. He's all over the place. If you are not being able to get categorized, you are not going to get ranked. Again, indexable content. It is looking for consistent content. So I'm sure if the LinkedIn algorithm, again, I've talked about this before. I get a lot of marketers on my LinkedIn feed. Why? And I get a lot of marketers that comment on my content because I'm talking about marketing. Yeah. I'm talking about social media marketing. So it shows my content to those people. Now, I want CRE brokers to see me. So what do? I go search and hunt all the CRE brokers that I want to connect with, or that I want to have conversation with, or that I just want to just have a good time with, right? That's how I look at my feeds. I don't look at them as a way of waiting. I'm very proactive.
Sorry, I'm trying to interrupt. You tweeted something about people interrupting you, and I was just like, oh, I got to stop that.
Did I do that?
Maybe it wasn't you. I don't know. It's been an interesting, 76 hours. You're really clear about what you're trying to do. You're extremely clear about what you have to say. And regardless of your inability to let go of, bashing yourself for not doing more, LinkedIn understands what you're about. Okay. And I want to bring this back because, just, I know that people get all freaked out about the algorithm and about AI and all this stuff, but if you in real life can articulate who you are, who you help, and why people should know, like, and trust you, and obviously you have to do that in more than just a sentence, right? But that is the basis for both how humans and artificial intelligence is going to understand how they can work with you, or if they should, right? The thing I wish that people would remember about artificial intelligence is that it is entirely based on the logic of human intelligence. And so, like, if you are at the party and you're talking about all those 5 things versus if every time I see you, like, you're talking about this, you know what I mean? And, like, I believe that there is place for variety. We are humans. We need to understand some of the more I don't know, like, soft or the, subjective parts about you, but, like, ultimately you're here to sell buildings, right? Or, like, whatever, you're here to rep tenants, or just, like, whatever it is, right? Like, the basis of whether or not any strategy is going to work for you is if you get extremely clear about that. And, like, Mo and I are here to help you with that. So that's all.
100%. 100%. And the AI, again, allegedly is looking at saves, dwell time, and educational depth. Saves, we've already talked about that. Dwell time. Dwell time is a huge indicator. What is dwell time? It's how long somebody actually stays on your post. They click it, that's an action. They stay on to read it, right? If they're only on the post for 3 seconds, then that is an indicator that what the content that you wrote was not that interesting, especially if the content that you wrote takes longer than 3 seconds to read. Now, if it's a 3-second read, then it's a 3-second read. But again, that's the dwell time. What kind of content performs best with this? Carousels are still doing amazingly well. Infographics are doing very, very well. Framework posts and step-by-step breakdowns are all doing very well. Why? Because it hits all of that. It's going to get saves. People are going to dwell on it. And not dwell in, like, a bad way, but they're going to have dwell time on it.
They're going to be looking at it. That's what it means. I'm just like, oh, I have stopped the scroll. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stop. I might even open it. I'm going to sit here. And you want to know what? It tracks it even if they don't engage with the post, which is huge. Because and I really actually appreciate that they're doing that, because, like, not and it's not just LinkedIn, right? But, like, not everybody is going to like. You want to know how many people's stuff that I read and I don't engage with because I understand what that signals? And, like, look, I'm like, I like a little bit of a devilish LinkedIn profile view, you know what I mean? Like, just like, yeah, I'm watching. But, so there's levels to this game, man. All right. So, but yeah, dwell time. Somebody can, you are still going to be able to get, good stats or whatever out of the fact, even so, but obviously liking, spreads it. But yeah, it's just like they want you to be engaging. They don't want you to just post trash, which is why posting AI slop trash is ultimately a shoot yourself in the foot strategy.
Yes. And I don't have a problem posting AI content.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
So the slop trash, I know exactly what she's talking about. It's literally, it's you posting just to post content that has no value. You're just putting words. It's just noise. It's like, okay, what was the point of this post? Like, there's plenty of times where I will read through somebody's content trying to figure out what was the point, and, like, did this further what I felt about this person, really? And if it gets to the point where I'm just like, this dude just posts crap all the time, I'm done. I'm never going to engage with their content again. I'm always going to skip over, because literally they have given me nothing of value in the times that I've been like, okay, I'm just going to do it. It's like me and eggnog. Every year I try eggnog thinking that this is the year that I'm going to like eggnog. And every single year it is the exact same, like, God, why do people
drink expensive? Stop wasting your money trying to be different and accept who you are.
God. No, the kids and Hector, they drink.
Okay, as long as it's not,
I can't stand it. But every year I try. Every year I try to figure out why they like it. well, yeah, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, and this goes back to the conversation of like some things are not for everybody, right? Hey, eggnog, don't be sad that Mo doesn't like you. She's not your target audience.
Jeff says eggnog is the worst. Yes, it is.
All right, now it's personal. I actually don't. I am eggnog neutral. I'm Switzerland on eggnog.
I was hoping you were going to say you're agnostic.
This is why I am the pupil and you are the master.
That was like is such low-hanging fruit. Okay.
Can we wrap this? We got stuff to do.
Allison Weiss, my beautiful friend.
Hello, good morning. So welcome to have you on. And Allison always catches the replay. So yeah, and if you caught the replay of this, do a little hashtag replay just so I can feel better about myself. That's it. Okay, what should you do this week with all this information other than deciding whether or not you're agnostic?
Agnostic. Mo with the dad jokes. Yes.
Popped off. That was good.
Rewrite your headline for clarity. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to make sure that your headline is super clear. I just had a conversation with a client. They received an award and they put the award in the headline. I said, nobody knows what that means. You need to change your headline back. Nobody understands what that means. I love that you have that. I love that you won that. But without explaining it doesn't mean anything to anybody, and it doesn't help with your headline. You need to pick your 3 topics that you're going to talk about consistently. You figure why 3 topics? Well, you're going to post, if you're posting consistently, you're posting 2 to 3 times a week. If you can pick 5 topics, that's 5 days of the week. If you're going to be posting, you don't have to post every single day of the week, but then you have 5 buckets that you can choose from. But choose 3 different buckets that you are going to talk about consistently that you will be indexed and categorized for. The next thing you're going to want to do is out of one of those topics, I want you to create a carousel that teaches something specific or shares some insider knowledge or information that you have based on your years of experience. Then the other thing that you need to do is you need to add a clear call to action in your featured section. Visit my website, sign up for my newsletter, watch my YouTube channel, whatever it is that you're doing, a clear call to action. Maybe it's even just a, hey, if you got a building to sell, call me or email me, have that in your featured section. And then this is a big one. And for some of you, because you work for bigger brokerages and it's a no-no, start collecting emails intentionally. And this is, you need to have a way to contact your audience. If all of social media were to disappear tomorrow, how are you connecting with your audience and where are they? So that is a huge one that we could literally do an entire show on its own, is just that email part. Yeah. Yes, you are being indexed and categorized by the AIs. And then don't forget, and Fly said it beautifully, there is a human that is behind the AI that has programmed it. So there's always a human element in there. It's not just a machine just doing machine things.
I think if it was a machine just doing machine things, that they just wouldn't talk to us.
We're too stupid.
And you want to know what? I'm like to agree. All right. Coming up this week at the end of the week, the CREI Summit, the CREI Summits list, LinkedIn, Instagram, 2 things on X, and podcasts. And I'm probably missing one, but there's a bunch. Submit your statistics, submit your profiles to get ranked on the list this year. The deadline is February 28th, and you can find it at CREISummit.com. Please don't make me call you. Let's just get it done, right? If you do have questions about how to find all of the information, I love that information that you'll need to submit, because you're going to have to, share some analytics and things like that. I've actually created a guide. Mo doesn't know this. I put together a how to submit your stuff for the list. It's better, but just, there's a lot of different dashboards and things like that. So if you just need help submitting, send me a DM and I'll make sure that you get that guide in your inbox to submit this week.
We should have done that years ago.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I'm catching up.
That's such a fabulous idea. I never even thought about that.
It's great.
Yeah. So
all right, friends, we gotta roll.
On Thursday, we're going to be talking about DNA of CRE again, and we're going to go through more of the results from that from marketers and brokers just like you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, DNAofCRE.com. It is put together by Build Out and the Broker List, and it's answers from you, by you, for you to help you figure out what to do with your life. I'm just kidding. It's just to help with your marketing. We will be back here on Thursday. We will see you then. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Goodbye.